Hi everyone, I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be continuing with step 2. We haven't gotten to all the moments yet, we're still in like that little like prologue type of stuff. But anyway, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends so they can find my amazing channel just like you have right now. So yeah, let's get into it and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we left off here with the phone CG thing coming up, so yeah. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's gonna want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Elizabeth too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. Being family helped you close, but you had a lot of girlfriends. You often gravitated towards other girls and befriended them really easily. Actually, you know what? Oh my god. I feel like for me, I would just have her as my only friend for girl. You weren't all that close with other girls your age. But you had plenty of other friends. They just all happened to not be girls. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. Lee, finally!
Hi!
Hi, sorry about the wait, Mina. It took forever to get the phone away from my mom. That's okay. There was stack on the end as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So you can believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head in my room.
Oh yeah.
You got from your seat at the counter. Luckily the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which is why you'd sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. You didn't like it, but it had to be that way. You weren't the only person here. If anyone could take the phone anywhere at any time, it'd be an even bigger hassle. You could easily imagine the receiver having a new forever home in Elizabeth's locked room. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. Alright, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I can't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd change their mind. We could call each other every day and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? But wouldn't I be still using a home phone? My moms would be able to stop us if they wanted. Lee laughed. You didn't put a damper on her imagination. Oh, then you have your own phone too. That works. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not gonna get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to a college. School was a big part of your life right now. Everything in your classes came easily to you. You soaked up information as naturally as a sponge absorbed water. You had yet to worry about school being hard for you. You were confident your grades would remain great. You could definitely keep the streak going. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you well to be fooled.
What's up?
You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. It's so awful. I hate going. I get what you mean. Though I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things can be cool. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught things, not just some people.
Me too.
Oh, we can choose all these? Okay. Gym is pretty great though. There was all sorts of sports stuff during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun sometimes. It's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. If I didn't go to school, I'd never meet anybody new. No one really comes here. Uh-huh. And the cafeteria lunches at my school could be better than they had any right to be. Lucky mine's boring. But that was all. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken.
Alright.
Now, I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about the summer first before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Ooh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. Art supplies. I can't wait to try them out. I can't wait to see what you make. You lean back in your bed, settling in as you continue chatting with your friend. Even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her and you'd be seeing her soon, you had plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day, you sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone. But especially Cove, it was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Hey, who are you to talk? You practically give all your attention to boys, or maybe just one boy. I see how much you like Cove. That's a special case. Lee laughed at your defensiveness, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. Oh god, what do you want? There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open and a frown etched on her face. The little adventure from earlier hadn't gotten you any goodwill this time, it seemed.
Come on.
How long are you gonna hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hands, the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on her face. Time's up. Oh, whatever, shut up. I'm still using it. Not anymore, you don't get everything in the world. Neither do you. I'm not the one asking for it. You had your turn, now you want to get mine too because you were first. In your dream, I will get Mom's. You glared at her. She glared right back before whipping around and shouting out your door.
Hey.
Mom, Minnie won't give me the phone and it's way past my turn. She hollered back up the stairs. Let Elizabeth have her turn. Cherry is carrying. You only get rights to the phone if you use it responsibly. You heard her. Fine. We have to go now.
Bye.
Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your mom I said hi too. You'd barely pressed the on call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. Oh my god, why can't we just have another phone? With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside and you laid in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you only saw the moon and an open sky. You were annoyed. What had caused that noise? Sighing heavily, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You might as well find the reason behind the disturbance. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a familiar pair of ocean blue eyes. No, don't tell me Cove got on our roof. Cove? No! Oh my god, no way. Is he on the roof? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house is very angular and some parts stuck out further than others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it ever to happen. Cove looked awkward and unstable. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. With difficulty he waved, then he wobbled, immediately dropping his hand in alarm. He hurriedly opened the window. Cove scrambled inside, nearly falling flat on his face, but he was able to right himself in the end. He released a breath once he was steady.
Hey.
Hi, Mina. Hi, Cove. You're lucky I didn't start screaming. Sorry for everything. I knew that it's late, but I didn't know what else to do. If I rang the doorbell, I know your mom would have answered and then just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean, but that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might try calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very cross. Dad, he was talking to my mom, still is probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone call. You shouldn't have done that. Eavesdropping is bad. Cove looked abashed. He nodded, glancing away guiltily. Yeah, you're right. I heard it by accident at first, and it was about me, so... Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. What? That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what we're saying. My dad asked my mom to not have me leave this year. He said she could come stay here with us here. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before they barely stayed in the room long enough to have lunch. Now we're gonna be all together again, the three of us, after all this time, just for a few weeks? I know I should probably be happy that they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I really feel bad for feeling this way. Mina, it's so... His fists tightened and his eyes became misty. Aw, Cove. No, don't cry. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already. I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. I'm sorry, Cove. You know I'm here for you. The tense line of Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks. That makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The minnow debacled Mitherholm's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Mina? The sound of your name said quietly pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you concerned.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we're good. Who, me? I'm more worried about you. You don't have to forget about yourself for me. I want to listen to you too. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit his eyes up. They seemed to sparkle with a smile. Just that one look brightened and moved somewhat. You know, I don't want to talk anymore about this. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arms. But I kind of don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? I've got a flashlight and some cards. Are you in? You tilted your head, waiting patiently for his answer. Cove perked up at your response immediately. Oh wait. Not immediately, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight, you were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. He fit into it like a missing piece of the puzzle, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove in your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. What? Oh, what? Oh, okay. Okay, I guess. Oh, you moved closer and wrapped your arms around him. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. Cove froze up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up and he returned your hug. The two of you remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. Ooh. When he pulled back, his expression had softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilted and broken, often by silence at first, and then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your peachy skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent some time together trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. Oh well. Cove went home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable grandma of pale green hair. Oh my god, no, he didn't go home. And you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left. He was still there in the morning. You froze. Your muscles refused to move an inch, and your eyes widened as you stared at Cove's sleeping form in absolute shock. If your moms found out he had slept here the entire night, you both would be in big trouble. Realizing quickly that you need to get Cove out of here before your moms or Elizabeth walked in and found him, you willed your body to get a move on and swung your legs over the side of the bed. You threw a pillow at him. Grabbing one of the soft fluffy pillows from your bed, you tossed it at Cove and he woke with a start. You scrambled out of the way as he abruptly jumped to his feet before almost losing his balance and falling back down. He recovered just as quickly and faced you indignantly.
Hey.
What was that for? Shh! What? The situation dawned on him too before he even finished the word. Cove blinked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that he could only hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep! You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around frantically. Cove stopped mid-step and you wanted to ask what he had been searching for, but he guessed he wouldn't know the answer to that himself. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. We're gonna be in so much trouble. You feel your throat grow tight and the air struggled to hit your lungs as you thought about all the possible punishments your parents might give you. Summer was just beginning. You couldn't imagine having to stay cooped up in your house for the rest of it. That was just barbaric. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in expression. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all this had played out, but hoped that was true. Right, bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace as panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks again. You're my very best friend, Mina. No one else comes close. Aw, it's so sweet. He firmly whispered the words onto the top of your shoulder. It made you feel tingly. Oh my god, ew. Ow, I'm tired of talking. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling your room with its salty scent. Cove anxiously stepped out onto the ledge. You wished him luck. Good luck, be super careful. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed, until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go to try keeping watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped down to the ground. He threw out a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off toward his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. Cove always seemed to have a way of seeming so smooth without even meaning to. With a low sigh, you reclosed your window, deciding there was nothing more you could do. You hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. You made your bed. It was a habit of yours. You straightened up your sheets, smoothed over your comforter, and flipped out your pillows before stepping back and admiring your work. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. While you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked you over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting. Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything! Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. You turned and offered a tight smile, and her lips pursed together even tighter. Mina? You shrugged it off. I'm not. You spoke so nonchalantly you almost thought she believed you, but you knew better. Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something. But ultimately she rolled her eyes and you were sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out the door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang with her friends from school around town. Today you were extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they made, hash browns and omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. You took a little bit of everything. It was tasty. You appreciate that there was variety in your meals and the meals your moms made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water and taking a long drink. It was a perfect, blammy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. And everyone, that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. So that was a lot. We had a phone call with Lee, and for the first time, or second time, because we did have the sleepover with Cove. Well, actually the first time, Cove climbed off onto our roof. So that was interesting. And then we found out that his mom is coming soon. So yeah, I'm tired of talking. You can probably hear it, but yeah. But lastly, you're a gentleman. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.